I pray the Lord for today's meeting. I pray that your will be done. That definitely the board would have clarification and wisdom to follow your will and no one else's. I pray the Lord for our country. I pray blessings on it and protection, dear Lord, and that we will all turn back to you, dear Lord, and see the vision that you would have. I pray the Lord for Judge Holm and Michelle. I pray the Lord for healing there. I pray, dear Lord, for Sheriff Waker and Christy as they travel. I pray blessings over that, and thank you, dear Lord, for what you're about to do. I pray the Lord for Kay. I pray for Robert. I pray for the family, dear Lord, that you will continue giving them strength. I ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, the consent agenda.
We have minutes from a regular meeting on October the 27th of 2025. We have a personnel report, no certification of additional revenue. We have amendment changes by fund, no investment report. We have an auditor's report of financial condition for September of 2025 and unreconciled of November the 7th, 2025. We have no treasurer's report of financial condition. Departmental financial reports, we have a district clerk, county clerk, tax collector, and DMV. Constables 1 and 2, JP 1 and 2, the sheriff, ECAD, and AgriLaw. And I have 8 sets of bills, claims, and accounts. Open Meetings Act and Public Information Act, I have it on Brandy Livingston. The purchasing acknowledgements, I have Persephone. Okay, that one. Carver and Danielle McKinney. And that's all I have.
Ready? Okay, in the budget adjustments, there is one budget amendment form. It is for elections. The court changed the title of the administrative assistant to make her deputy administrator. I'm just moving budget from the administrative budget line to the deputy administrator. And then every judge and clerk for elections had a background check. So there was no pre-employment budget line in the JEA budget. So I need permission to add that budget line, and I'm just taking it out of judges and clerks. And then on the financial report, the September report, the first part of that is the statement of cash position. And these balances, is September reconciled the bank accounts?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Okay. So these won't change. What will change is, and I plan to give the court a September true ending cash balance, but the HRA reimbursements, employees have until November 30th, I believe, to request a reimbursement. So that's the only thing that would be affecting fiscal year 25 on the expense side. And then revenues, there's September revenues that were receipted in October. They need to be journaled back to September. So hopefully by the first week in December, I can give you final September numbers. But what this shows is general fund at the end of September had $2,404,061.48, and Road and Bridge had $226,177.35. And then all funds, $8,054,908.07. On the statement of revenue and expense, if you'll look at the physical activity column, Fund 10, General Fund, expenses exceeded revenues, $1,476,419. And Road and Bridge, revenues exceeded expense, $13,715.38. That's really all I have for September until I have final numbers. And then in the October, well, it's actually a November report. This is as of Friday. The first is the statement of cash position. And you're looking at the actual ending balance. General fund checking, $1,978,366.87. Road and bridge checking, $408,920.31. All funds on deposit, $8,185,034.10. The next report is the statement of revenue expense for the county. And if you look at general fund, and we're looking at physical activity, right now expenses exceed revenue $406,970.01. Road and bridge, revenue exceeds expense, $262,302.13. The other funds are listed. Then there's a report for the state funds, which is adult and juvenile probation, and the schedule of payments as of October 31st. And that's all I have, unless y'all have questions.
Do you have a signature page for me that you signed your report?
The one I sent out was signed,
Oh, it was? Oh, okay.
I believe. If not, I'll get you a signature.
Okay. Thank you.
So we have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
And for Loretta to add the new line item and use the same.
Yes.
Motion. I'll second.
We have a motion to accept the consent agenda and allow the new line item in the election. All those in favor, vote aye. Aye.
Aye.
Burn ban. I don't want to change it. Y'all want to change it? Okay. Emergency amendments?
None. And could we skip to 4G?
4G?
Mr. Burns is on hold right now.
Okay. 4G, accept Justice Center dispatch expansion bids and award contract.
Can you hear us, Mr. Burns? Okay, can you hear us? We can't hear you for some reason.
Here.
Huh?
Okay, I think we're good now.
You good?
Yes.
Can y'all hear me?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, we're going over the bids. If you can kind of go over those and make a recommendation to the court, please.
Okay. If you remember, we had 3 bids. One was Shellback Construction at $995,716. Talbert Rod turned in a bid at $418,894.39, but they withdrew their bid because they had made major mistakes in it. And then Tyner Construction was the other legitimate bid at $1,295,000. After speaking with all the bidders earlier on, realizing that Talbert Rod had made the mistake, we told them that we could see they'd made the mistakes. They agreed. That's why they withdrew. So it left us with Shellback and Tyner. I spoke with both of them. Both of them's bids were good. They included all the forms, all the addendums. They acknowledged everything, and they had their payment and performance bonds included. So both of those bids are good bids. And of course, our recommendation to you is going to be to go with Shellback because about $300,000 less. And you've got two good bidders. One is just much lower than the other, and they had a shorter time frame too, which explains a lot of that. So Shellback is our recommendation.
Do you know anybody that's used them before, sir?
We are working with Shellback at Burnett County right now on a renovation in their jail. We have worked with Shellback previously where they came in and we were the architects at Austin County on 3 EMS stations, and our contractor had huge problems and went broke basically, and Shellback came in and salvaged the projects and cleaned up the mess. That's where we first encountered Shellback, was in Austin County. We've been impressed with them so far. Tyner, just so you know, I know the name Tyner. They have bid our jobs a couple of times. We've never worked with them, but we have worked with Shellback.
So basically what today, we just need to designate what we're gonna go with for the company wise, and then we'll work on financing.
Yes, and I believe, is it
Jake, yes,
Jake
ma'am.
from Government Capital is here to talk about financing.
And so, if I can, let me interject a couple more things. Today, if you award the contract, we still have to put a contract together. So there's a little negotiation time because the contract has to be put together with whoever the contractors you pick. Then it'll have to come back to court for that approval. Once you can see the contract and your attorneys and myself have reviewed it. So
Okay.
there's still a little bit more, another step to get it done once you approve your financing and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. So we're not in a hurry to do the financing today because we need the contract in place first.
Well, I think you need to talk about your financing. You know, again, there's a couple other things that still need to be thought about in your financing. Not just the construction cost, but you've got the cost of the dispatch consoles that we talked about last time. And then you've got the balance of the architecture and engineering fees that have to be included in there. So when you talk financing with Jake, make sure we've covered all those things. But if you award the contract today to Shellback, then we would immediately tell Shellback, let's get a contract put together so that your legal counsel can review it. I'm assuming the county attorney would want to look at it, and then we would look at it as well. And once everybody's happy with it, we would tell you to authorize the county judge to sign it, but not until that process has happened.
Okay. Thoughts, fellas?
Where's this company out of, sir?
Brenham, Texas.
Might want to make a motion to award the contract to Shellback.
We won't do that today.
Yeah, we need to do it today.
Okay.
And we'll get it started.
I make the motion.
I'll second it.
We have a motion to award the contract to Shellback. All those in favor vote aye. Aye. Motion passes. H is discuss, consider financing options for the Justice Center and dispatch expansion. Take action. I will say this, David asked this morning in the text message that we not award it today to anybody because they're still in negotiations with USDA for the financing. And they think they can get it cheaper. Him and Jason.
Do you want to talk about the best option through
Yep.
Government Capital?
Is there anywhere you'd like me to stand?
No.
Would you state your name, please?
Yes, ma'am. Jake Lawrence with Government Capital Securities. I'm here covering for Drew Whittington. So yeah, what kind of our role would be in this process would be the financial advisor to kind of go through the negotiations with the banking entities to figure out which preferred method the court would like to go. You know, when you're looking at this, there's been the discussion of the maintenance or the tax note, which there's a couple of things restricting with the tax note is it's a budget appropriation annually that you would have to come out of your own budget with a maximum term of 7 years. Why counties typically go that route is because of the ease and speed at which those things can be done. So if y'all decide to move forward with the tax note, you know, you could potentially have it settled, I would imagine so, by the next Commissioner's Court meeting in 2 weeks. You know, I understand there's a desire to keep some of these funds local, which is always a good thing because they have the understanding of what the county's about and have relationships with y'all. And so we would go through that process. We've already begun it a little bit and reached out to both of those banks. And I've heard back on an indicative rate. They're still, we hadn't given them the green light because y'all haven't confirmed the amount yet until just now. And typically with a 7-year tax note, it's pretty simple. It's just a budget appropriation each and every year. 7 years, you can typically pay it down faster without any penalty or things like that. That payment is looking at about $172,000 annually appropriated for 7-year tax note. So if you can figure if you can carve out of your budget that amount there with the no new revenue tax rate and everything on your annual budget, we would fund that roughly 2 weeks after the next commissioner court meeting if y'all decide to move forward at that pace. And then we could set up the payment schedule depending on what y'all prefer for maybe the next budget year cycle, or if you feel like you have the availability and the flexibility to make a payment this budget year, you can do that whether it be just interest only or depending on the amount that y'all feel comfortable with. It's a pretty simple process. It's just the speed at which those places like to go for these types of notes when we work with other counties. The other route would be the certificate of obligation. It's really the only two main routes to go. I mean, I know y'all understand what COs are. It's just a little bit more of a process of doing the post-notice issuance, running it 2 consecutive weeks in the newspaper, and then having the authorization meeting no sooner than 45 days after the first running of the newspaper notice. The other upside to certificate of obligations is that you would be able to levy an INS tax rate of a small increase, a little bit more than 1 penny potentially to service this debt. You'll bring in roughly $130,000 for every 1 penny that you levy. So you can see with $172,000, just be a little bit more than that. It just allows you to utilize that INS tax rate. Y'all currently don't have any outstanding debt for that, so it's just a way for y'all to have another access to if you didn't feel like the budget could be constrained or anything of that nature too. It just takes a little bit more time. That's usually about a 60-day process from when you first do the post-notice meeting, which is only stating that you're going to have a not-to-exceed amount in there, and then we'd go through the same process with the banks as well during that portion, and then have authorization probably about 60 days after that first post-notice meeting too. So, but happy to answer any other questions about our role in this and any of the 2 methodologies for this type of project, just because it's a real property construction, and so these are the ones that are available for counties to utilize.
No, I don't have any questions today. Mr. Burns, will we have a absolute dollar amount with the contract? In other words, with the consoles and the engineering and all that, so we have a final dollar amount that we're looking at next time around?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we'll make sure that you've got all that. We highlighted it. The last time we talked about the potential cost of the dispatch console, so it really boils down to how many are you going to buy now? What are the bells and whistles you get on them? We told y'all to anticipate $25,000 to $30,000 per console. The balance of the architectural and engineering is $113,200. So easy to put those figures together, and then I would say then you round it up to a nice even number to give to your financing people.
Okay. So do you figure in any overages? In other words, you say round it up. Is there like a 10% overage, or in case the project runs over?
I like to do that. I like to round up and make sure we have a contingency, because if you don't need it, you don't spend it.
Right.
And so always make sure you've got plenty of money. So we'll work with you on that to get those figures put together. I'll get started working with the contractor on getting the contract together. Then we can put all these numbers together for your next court meeting. One of the things I will say about financing, I've worked with every type of financing there is, including the USDA. We have to be very conscientious about time, because if we take too long getting financing, then you're asking the contractor to hold his bids out there for a long time. Then the subcontractors get wishy-washy with us.
Yes, sir.
And so the point is, and I'm just am not here to slam anybody, but I'm working with the city of Pleasanton near San Antonio and the USDA. We've been working on their financing for a year now.
Right.
And it has pinched the city because what we could have built for $10 million a year ago has been diminished.
Yes, sir.
Because of increased costs. So be aware of those things. That's just me being the advisor that I like to be. We need to move quickly so you don't see a cost escalation and see contractors wanting more money because it took too long to bring it to fruition.
I think once we get that final dollar amount that we can see physically, this is what we're looking at, I think we can move forward on the rest of it. All right, will be my mindset.
Yes, sir. And I'm here to support that. So we'll get the numbers, and I will get with the contractor and get this construction contract started rolling so we can review what's going on.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Burns. And that's the same with y'all. Y'all kind of need a final number to look at.
Yeah, ballparking it. I mean,
Yeah.
you're pretty close. It sounds like with already the bids coming in, and I've worked with Kenny a lot. He does really good work and gets those numbers nailed down for you. Feel confident into. So.
On the limited tax note, will we still need bond counsel?
Yes, that would be to whoever y'all, if y'all have a relationship with a specific firm to utilize to put the documentation together. There's a lot of resolution documents, and with the Attorney General's office and things of that nature, depending on the dollar figure, if it gets above $1 million, you automatically have to go to the Attorney General's office. So there's a little bit of fee associated with that. We work with tens of bond counsels across the state, so we'd be happy to make a recommendation, of course, at the lowest expense to the county. And so unless y'all have a current relationship, we're happy to use them too. Who y'all use, but yes, ma'am.
So I guess on item H, we just need to table that until the next meeting, and then we'll have our numbers, and Dave will be here, and Jason, and then they can throw their spiel behind it all. So can we have a motion to table?
Motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion to table item H. All those in favor vote aye. Aye. Okay, we'll go back up to C.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Item C
Thank
is
you.
discuss, consider, and approve the appointment of Doyle Russell to the Board of Trustees of Central Texas Mental Health, Mental Retardation, DBA Center for Life Resource Center. And I won't see Dion. I don't know how many years Mr. Russell's done it, but he's done it forever. Yeah. Can we have a motion to reappoint him?
Motion. Second.
I have a motion to reappoint Joe Russell. All in favor vote aye.
Aye.
D, approve resolution regarding fiscal year 2026 rifle resistance body armor grant program.
We put in for that last year,
Yes, sir.
and we didn't think that we were gonna get it, and then right at the end, they awarded us. I've been dealing back and forth with Austin, and they wanted specifics on the rifle plates, and they finally said yes. What the company I was looking at and the specifics are fine. We were awarded it, and Jason said, we got it, so I just had to bring it up and ask for the resolution. And
How much was the fund?
$17,000. It's right at $18,000 for rifle plates and
I didn't
carriers.
see no resolution.
Send it to Shelby.
Yeah. Shelby heard her name. It's not in the it's just Center for Life Resources.
There you go.
Ginger, do we have a resolution on that?
Here's
Grant?
I guess. Isn't there?
I can go back to my email and resend it.
Well, we can approve it and let David sign it when he gets back.
We have a sample,
Yeah.
but we don't have a completed
Maybe that's
resolution.
what that is. A sample.
Yeah.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Can we have a motion to accept the resolution and allow David to sign it?
Approved.
Approve the resolution and allow David to sign it.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion to all that. All the way aye. Also, on the Center for Life Resources, David's got a form he's supposed to sign for Dole's appointment.
Do you want to amend your motion, Commissioner Wilson and Maxwell,
Yes.
and to allow?
Yes, ma'am.
That's the only thing in the folder.
Okay, thank you.
Item E is discuss and consider waiving Eastland County Personnel Policies, Section 14.1, and pay retiring Precinct 3 employee for Thanksgiving holidays. Ronnie Wilson.
You want me to help there?
Yeah, you can. Yes, sir.
And Travis is retiring the end of November. He's put in for his retirement, and the Thanksgiving holidays fall, and the 30th is on a weekend. And Commissioner Wilson and I were discussing, because normally your last day physically worked is your last day, but for an employee that served their time and is retiring, Commissioner Wilson was wanting to waive policy and pay him for the holidays also.
I'll make a motion.
This is for 1, 2, 1, 2, just half.
I'm going to look at the judge's
Yes. So I have just a few things I'll go over. Early voting, we had the 2 locations, Eastland and Cisco. Early voting ran for 2 weeks, starting Monday, October 20th, and ran through October 31st. The last 2 days were 12-hour days, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. here in Eastland. Cisco had regular hours. During early voting, we had 762 voters that voted early in person. We sent out 67 mail ballots. We received 57 back. 57 were accepted for counting. 0 provisional ballots during the early voting. On election day, we had 4 voting centers. We had 1,219 voters that voted in person on election day, and we also had 0 provisional ballots on election day. Yeah, it was a good election.
I'd like to say something, ma'am. I had a lot of, we didn't have one at Rising Star this year.
Yes, sir.
Lots of people upset.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if we're going forward or whatever, if we can try to get one down there. What I remember about it is, I guess we went off numbers or something why we didn't do that. Is that correct, Robert?
With the the general, and this is just what I'm being told by people that have done it before me, but with the general elections, they're much smaller turnout, and we just can't afford to have all 9 precincts open for polling places. With the primaries, we will have across the county open spots, but with the general, it's hard to have.
Just what it's going to be. Huh?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I talked to the Rising Star mayor. I also had a lot of phone calls, and I do think that we can probably move some stuff around. Lake Leon, they did have 125 voters show up at the church on election day, and so I had kind of thought about moving the polling center from Lake Leon to Rising Star to help that out, but I don't know that we would have had 125 in Rising Star.
Right.
And we had
expensive to have this election for such a small turnout.
Yes, and we had 170 in Rangers, so I think that's a big turnout. Rangers always pretty good. We had 507 in Cisco, and we had 417 here. Cisco had a much bigger turnout, which is pretty unusual, but I guess that's their election that they had going on.
Yeah. Traditionally, Rising Star and Cisco have the best voter turnout.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
I have a question. Is this always included in packets?
That is the e-Pulse report of everybody that voted.
Okay.
I ran the reports every day with signatures, and those are all posted online. But I was told that goes in there.
This-
Okay, may I make a request to the court? This has everybody's birth date and social security number. When y'all are finished with it, would you return it to Kathy for shredding, please?
To me?
Yes. It has driver's license and birth dates.
I'm gonna hand that back to Timmy
Okay.
right now.
Yeah, here, and I'm back right now.
Thank you, though. I mean, it was interesting with her.
I know James has got his bank account on there.
I'll take that.
I would too.
I'll put a note on the judges to please return it to you.
Okay.
I will say this, we used the, mobile module in Cisco. I don't know if anybody else used it, but we used it. It was a learning experience for all of us, but it worked.
For the curbside?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. That's a whole experience on its own because it's very necessary. We had people that were coming all day long. I don't know how many Cisco had, but we had a few here.
We were the first one. She said, "I'm glad to be patient and we can learn." Yeah.
That's all I have. Are there any questions or do y'all need anything from me? I guess I'll give this to Shelby.
We need a motion to canvass the election results.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion, canvass them in a second. All those in favor vote aye.
No.
Aye, accept tractor and flex swing rotary cutter bids and award contract.
You want me to start? And then you can tell them what's going on. We did go through the bid process for one tractor and one flex swing rotary cutter. We did receive bids. We received bids from United Ag and Big Country Equipment. We went through and scored the bids on the tractor. I don't think anybody met full specs on the tractor or the cutter. And then Philip has a story to tell.
Yeah, one of our skid steers is in the shop. We're going to be fighting for warranty work. The possibility, worst case scenario, we could be paying $23,000 to have that thing fixed. So my recommendation is that we do not buy a tractor. We go back and buy a flex wing mower and a boom arm mower that we can use on the excavator, and hopefully we can. The boom arm mowers that I'm looking at are made in America. They're not Italian made. One of the two that we sent back to Intergrain, we used it for maybe 4 hours and it shelled the pump again. We still haven't got parts on the other one that we've been waiting on. So we're going to see if maybe this mower works. Talked to some of the guys, and we think that we can design a attachment that will allow us to use other attachments with the Intergrain systems. So we're going to try that. And those mowers are like $9,500 versus $20,000 that we paid for the Intergrain machines. I talked to Robert and Andy and a little bit with Ronnie about using the tractors that y'all already have in your precinct with the flex wing mower that we can buy. And the flex wing mower that I was looking at is a 7-gauge steel. The gearboxes have a 10-year warranty. The sidewalls are 1/4 inch thick. They're made by Rhino. It's the Alamo company. Rhino and Brush Hog went together under Alamo, and there's some other things that I'm looking at with Alamo, or their products. I've redone the Form 1500. That's the one we have to send to the Forestry Service to get approval to buy additional equipment and things like that. And I took out the tractor and explained that to Brian. So he said we were good with the old form, but just to clarify everything and make sure that everything was clean, I took out the tractor, sent that form, and explained that to him. The other day we looked at the budget, and we're also looking at replacing some equipment and things like that. Talked to some of the dealers on those. Skid steers weren't designed to mulch and things like that. It's too hard on them. But John Deere is probably the best one out there right now to do that with. It's the T333 or 335. Can't remember exactly what their number is. So, and talked to other people in the industry that have those machines and when they get rid of them. And the best time to get rid of them is when you still have warranty and they have low enough hours that whoever else buys them has warranty and hours on them. So, based on not meeting the specs, we're rejecting those bids. I've already called those gentlemen and told them that we're rejecting those bids. Also, by doing this, Loretta said that the Eastland County policy, we can do buy board or Sourcewell or whatever, because those two pieces of equipment will be under the recommended price amount that we have to get bids. And then we're going to look at redoing county policy so that maybe we can get a tractor later on, or when we trade out equipment, we don't have to get the bids the way that we did this last time.
We did talk to Judy Langford last week, and she said on a federal grant, you can use one of the purchasing cooperatives, but you have to request bids. You can't just go off the pricing. You have to request bids. And she said she would help Philip do that. So
I sent
we're
out
in
an email
compliance.
this morning, all that stuff to Brian. I think y'all got it too, about the Form 1500 and all that.
So basically on all bids were rejected, so we're not doing anything.
Right.
The
we're not
court
doing
needs to
anything. They
reject
were
them,
always
though.
rejected based on not meeting specs.
Okay, so we need a motion to reject all bids.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor vote aye. Aye. Thank you, sir. J, discuss and consider applying for U.S. Bank Voyager Fleet Card.
So this may sound like we just did this, and we thought we did. It was the state purchasing card program through U.S. Bank that we recently had approved. We asked about fuel, we asked about rebates. The team that we worked with for the credit card said the rebates would be done. Tracy started wondering about the tax on the fuel and called, and we were told it's the wrong program, that they should have told us we needed the fleet card program. So the program that we need for fuel is the Voyager Fleet Card program, and there's a little bit of information in here just talking about the rebates. We get an early pay incentive, so if we continue paying twice a month and we do it very timely, we'll actually get a discount for paying early. It will have, we want to enable the MasterCard feature on it, so it will act like the Comdata cards where if somebody's out of town, they can, and break down, they can go buy parts, or there's that option for it. I would like to keep the department head cards through the U.S. Bank P-Card program that we already have, but I talked to the sheriff. He does not want his deputies to carry 2 cards, so he would rather just go with the fleet card. But I need permission to move forward, and then there's documents that the judge would need to sign when he gets back. Or if you would like to sign them.
It's basically to get our kickback and starting in January for the taxes we gotta be on the fleet card. Because in January we get the road fuel tax back because of the legislature passed that. So,
Yeah, we're going to have to apply now for a refund for expenditures in October and November, and we would like this.
Take effect till January.
Well, they charged us the fuel tax though.
But I don't think that takes effect until January.
Okay.
I think that's what I read.
Okay.
Is
well, if not, that's great.
Yeah, because I think what I read was January 1st is when it starts.
Okay. Well, good. Then we're still
wrong
ahead of the game if that's correct.
When I was working on the fuel report, I think it's.
I thought it was
thinking it was October also.
Well, we get a kickback right now on the stuff we buy.
But on the tax.
Yeah, on the diesel, on the road fuel, I'm not so sure it's not starting in January, but I may be wrong.
Okay.
And just for the public, it's not a kickback. It's a fuel tax refund.
Yeah, fuel tax refund. Can we have a motion to apply for the fleet card
And allow the judge.
and allow the judge to sign them?
Second.
All those in favor vote aye. Aye. K, ratify the statement of work service contract and payment agreement with Howard Technology Solutions for the district court AV upgrade. This is the same stuff we'd already done.
I thought it was.
Yes, there've just been, there's a statement of work and a standard service contract. They brought a quote to court, so this is just the follow-up paperwork that needs approval.
Can we have a motion to ratify David's signature?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor vote aye. L, request auditor's office to audit chapter 59 report from the DA's office.
I think that was already
That's already
done,
done.
and I think y'all can just do no action.
No action, okay.
And the letter, sign my sheets.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
I was thinking that was in that big deal where all of them were. M, discuss and consider entering an agreement with Civic Plus for website accessibility and agenda management. Go ahead. As most everybody knows, in January, because you've been getting the emails from Sarah that they're not going to help us with our website. So Civic Plus, Kathy found them. They've done a couple of demos with us. They would manage the website. I do have some questions about it because I think the number that he gave us for the initial deal does not cover the management side of the contract. But for the initial setup, it's $14,999, and then an annual fee of $9,999. I do not think that includes the $5,000 for the management side of it. That still would require us to data load all of our own stuff. They would just manage the website. If I'm right on my notes that I took from the first meeting.
And this is a countywide contract?
Yes.
Yes.
ma'am.
They
I'm
just
sorry, I
did
missed the
ERAF.
meeting.
They just did ERAF, and they're doing Comanche.
That's the name you just signed on.
Yeah. They've done Kimball County. I forget which other ones that they showed us with examples of, but Kimball County was one I remember. And they're in ERAF County.
It's a very nice.
It's a nice deal. If you do the management side of them, and you need to advertise for somebody starting next month or in January, you'll have to do it yourself on the website by the statute, and you'll have to take it down by statute. So if we do this, everything will be ADA compliant, which is the goal that we have to have by January of 2027. They have to be ADA compliant on the websites by federal standards, not state. So that's what this company's doing, is they're gonna make our website federally ADA compliant, basically. But I do.
19,000.
And
Well, that's a
also,
setup.
they'll monitor it for spyware,
Yeah,
all that cybersecurity as well.
that's the initial setup on it.
Will offices have the ability to post their own information?
I believe they said they would.
Yes.
Okay.
If you wanted
If you
that.
want
Okay.
to. If you do the extra $5,000 deal, you send it to them and they do all the posting. PDFs are a different animal, and you can't post directly because they're not searchable or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they have to be formatted to go back into the website for the searchability, which is part of the compliance.
Yes, because they will take
issue.
it a bit farther for the ADA.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's something
Yeah.
that we would upload in PDF would not meet that criteria that is required now.
Yeah, there's basically a block that they put it into for a searchable name, number, whatever.
Okay.
In there.
And will each office get the ability to work with them to set their information up the way they want it?
Oh, I would imagine.
I would think
Yeah.
so. And plus, they're going to pull everything that's from our website over
Okay.
to create the website.
Okay.
That's what the initial cost is going to be, is to create the website and pull the information we have, which Kathy had the number, or he sent the numbers to us on the number of documents that we have on our
Oh
website
gosh, yeah, I don't
was
think I printed that out.
unbelievable.
Yeah, we have a bunch.
A bunch of
The
documents.
images.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
and-
like thousands of documents on the website.
We've been archiving everything we put on it for years, so
Yeah.
it's a lot. The other question is, are we gonna pay this out of county records management, because we have just at 30,000 in the checking account?
Well,
How much, Christina, do we pay tax? Like
30,
3,500?
yeah, it's just shy of 4,000, I think.
And it goes through the end of this year. I believe is what I researched.
We pay it by fiscal year. I don't know. If you'd asked me that ahead of time, I would have brought that.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's that money that we won't be expending anymore.
Yes. Well, I'm just saying that 30,000 is sitting in county records management,
Right.
and that's all it can be used for.
Well,
So this would be a good use.
It would be a really good use for it. And I personally think that if we're gonna do it, I know they said Comanche County went with their management side module, the extra 5,000 a year for them to do the data entry and make sure everything was good.
And it was like, what?
So it would put it back to right at $15,000 annually and put it right at 20,000 for the initial cost of it.
And the annual they're saying in here is
$9,999.
right at 10 grand.
But that's something we're gonna have to budget for from now on.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
It's just a cost of what we're required to do.
Well,
He did a page crawl, that's what he called it. And 164 total content count, 18 HTML, 1,356 documents, 59 module contents, 42 images. And that was just a quick crawl on it. But there is more than that, like
yeah.
triple digits.
Yeah, I think the contract he sent us today is the initial setup on it, but it doesn't have the management module side of it. And I think if we're gonna do it, we wanna do that too. Just in my mindset on the, let them take care of it, and if there's something wrong, it's their responsibility on the side of it, especially when you're talking about when he got off on the PDFs, well, you'd have to do this or you'd have to do that and that kind of stuff to make them searchable, which is part of the accessibility problems.
Well, and if you don't, you're putting it on every department head, and if they're not technology savvy, it's gonna be difficult.
Or even have the time.
Right, it's a time thing
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it does come with training. That price includes that.
They're doing all of it without
Wow.
Good question, Jeff.
Good question. Just out of curiosity.
We probably have that benefit of putting our own stuff on there. And probably, okay, if we don't want to put our own stuff on there and we need to upload it to them, then I'm sure they're gonna train us on how, the proper way to get it to them and to view it.
Yeah, it's just like they were talking about. If you could do it on some other format other than PDF, then it goes. It's an easy, straight in deal. But if it comes as a PDF, we got to do this, this, and this to make it work. So I'm sure that's part of how they would rather receive the information in the format, and then also the emergency side of it. You can post, different stuff through the emergency side of it directly if you have the access on it.
You're talking about Code Red or
Yeah,
because the sheriff is on there and
yeah.
visited with them about that.
But I
Road
think
closures or
I think it's in looking at the other websites, and that's, to be honest, that's how I looked at them to see if I could use them. And they are a lot simpler, and they're a lot,
very clean.
yeah, and they're professional looking, not blank, not just a generic looking canvas like it is right now. To me, I liked it, but I do think if we want to go forward, we need to contract, but we also need to contract to have the management side of it.
They did say it would take, what, about 6 months to get it
Yeah,
fully in force?
yeah, it's gonna be some lag time once they get started on it.
To get it
On there.
designed and input from each office and.
So, that's the spiel, whatever y'all wanna do. If y'all wanna go ahead and ask, what was his name? Jacob was the guy that did both demos. If y'all wanna go ahead and ask him to send us a contract with the management side of it also included, and then let David sign it, I think that would be the way to go to get it started, and then we could have a contract, and we could make the plans for next year, and we could pay for it out of county records management this year. Designated fund anyway.
So does that account bring in any revenue anymore?
No.
Okay. So,
Well, it might have some old case, old case revenue, but it's, the new stuff is not going in there.
I'll make the motion that we go ahead and request a contract that includes the management portion also, and allow David to sign it when he gets back.
I'll second.
And do we need to mention to be paid from county?
County records management. All those in favor vote aye. Aye. Would you?
Yes.
Item 5 is adjournment. Can I have a motion?
I'll make it.
Motion by Ronnie, second by James. All those in favor vote aye. Aye.
Kathy, when you get your copies of the U.S. Bank, the boy